Welcome to Leicester Fan TV. Yes, we've got another transfer, Sam. The thing we've been asking for. We've had quite a few rumours the last couple of days for a striker.
Especially since the Lens game, yeah.
Yes. Obviously, Daka did get injured and he's in a boot now. So we only are down to one striker in Cannon.
Who they don't rate.
No, exactly. We know he probably... Well, I was saying on the show yesterday that I don't think, even if Cannon was the only striker, he would not start. I honestly don't think he would start. I think he'd put Reeedy up front. But... as of now, it looks like we are getting Hlozek. Don't I say his name? But as you can see on this tweet here, Fabrizio Romano's tweet, we're in advanced talks with Adam Hlozek from Bayer Leverkusen. Negotiations at final stages between the clubs and loan to obligation to buy. Leicester City wants to get it done, as club source confirms. Still ongoing, but the player side before here we go. So we are very, very close, Sam, to signing this guy from what it looks like.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts?
Well, let's pull up some comments. Let's see what some people are saying about him.
Man says, yo.
Hello.
Do you want to answer that question?
Do you think Zaha... I've heard a lot of clubs are interested in him. Obviously, they've put on the price tag that's going to cost around €9 million, I believe, to have a season on loan, which I think is just to cover his wages. In my eyes, I think it's worth it, but I've heard clubs like Spurs are going to be interested, and I thought he was more of a striker role, but as it got pointed out to me, he is more predominantly a winger, and I don't think it's someone that we particularly need. Oh, don't get me wrong, I would take Zaha, but I don't know if we're desperate for a new winger, considering we definitely need an attacking midfielder and we need a striker, and obviously that's what this video is about.
Yeah, I think I would take Zaha. Again, if it's like whatever it is, £7 million to bring him for a loan. I don't care how much it is. We're not going to be paying for his wages.
No, it's signing a player for a season, and if you ask me, I think it's the best option possible. If you're going to pay someone the money, do it when we're going to fight relegation. You're going to have to pay someone $7 million for one season, but that's all you want someone like Zaha for. You don't want to, paying his wages on a 3-year contract for the option to sign him. Oh, sorry, to sell him. But, so to me, I think we should get him.
Locks here says he is an out-and-out striker. He can play left wing, right wing, cam, and striker. Very versatile. Again, a player that is probably good for us again, but I would say that he's not a backup. I think he would play. I think he's played for Leverkusen the last year or so. I think maybe last year or two, and they won the league with Leverkusen. Again, beating Bayern Munich to the title isn't an easy job.
We've looked at his stats. Obviously, when you look at his stats to the games played, it doesn't look that good. But when you look at the minutes, he's played 1,000 minutes of football last season, and he's got 8 goals and assists, which averages roughly around 8 goals and assists for 11 games.
He's actually got 12.
Oh, is it 12?
12 goals and assists.
Oh, well, there you go. 12 goals and assists
in about 11 games.
And that shows you that's like 10, 15 minutes at the end of games. And for him to get in the positives on the goals and assists, and like Locks pointed out, he looks like a very versatile. I'm looking over here because there's a screen of his stats. He can play centre forward, attacking midfielder, left winger / midfielder, and central midfielder.
It's what we need. It's more predominantly striker and like centre forward. But
I think this is someone, like you said, someone that can be moved around a bit more when we're weak on plays. But I still think, like I said, we need the out-and-out striker. And if that's this guy, it's great because we need someone like him to mix in with Vardy, because Vardy's hopefully going to come back, and Daka. I mean,
he might be out for months now. You never know. Trevor here says, "Who are these nobodies we're signing?" Don't get me wrong. I've only heard of this guy from FIFA, but from what we've seen and what we've heard from Leverkusen last year, again, it's not an easy job beating Bayern Munich to the title, is it?
Well, so you can say about nobodies. I mean, your profile picture, Trevor, he was a nobody before we signed him, and look how he turned out. So we're not really going to be signing these household names. That's the Leicester model, is we sign players that are unknown and we do something with them. And obviously, it's not worked out as much as we would have liked recently. And I get signing players that with a bit more of a name and a bit more of a presence like Zaha, but we just can't afford it, lads. No. It ain't going to happen this season. It's just we're getting these loans in. We're going to get these cheap options in. And it is one of these things that the board, have messed up on, and this is the best we can do.
Yeah, Anil here says he scored 16 goals from 19 appearances for one season from Sparta. I don't know if it's Sparta Moscow. Before he moved to Leverkusen, he did not perform in Germany. Again, I would say he
disagree.
has.
You look at how many games he's played to the goals, and it doesn't look as impressive.
He's played 1,011 minutes. He's played in 1,011 minutes. That's what, just over 10 games worth, or maybe 11.
It's about 11, 12 games worth of football.
And he's had 12 goals and assists.
It's a goal and assist every 80 minutes.
Yeah.
Which is, most people would say that's really good stats. And I think it's more of a loan option because he needs some game time. And Bayer Leverkusen, they've had a great season last year, and they've definitely got better options for them. So they're probably like, well, this guy may be a good striker. Let's loan him out and see what he can do. Yeah,
Andy's down here says here, need a striker, so who cares who it is? Again, you obviously put a post out earlier today about
another striker.
this guy from Panathinaikos. Again, another one which we have been linked to putting a bid in for. But if we're getting, let's say this one is very close to happening from what it sounds like.
This is Fabrizio. Fabrizio usually is quite a good source on information.
He would say there isn't, but he is.
He has his moments. Obviously, he talks a lot of it, but then when stuff bolts through, it's not his fault. We've seen it happen loads of times.
Potter was that close to coming in, and
then people know stuff in the back, and stuff happens. We don't know what happens at the club. And like Locke says, he believes we'll get this Greek striker. I think he means to put that. That's his name, isn't it? Ilionis or something.
Ilionis, yeah.
From I don't know if we're trying to say a Greek team. He's done very well as well. I think it's 30 goals and assists in 40 games in all competitions. 5 of those goals coming in 6 European football matches. Again, a very solid option. And Ipswich had a bid turned down for about 21 million. We've put in a bid around 22 to 23 million.
I can't see that being accepted if they're denying Ipswich.
It depends on how much they want, because if they think we don't need to sell him and we can hold out again, knowing then I'm assuming they're going to want around 25 million, which is why the clubs are lowballing. I mean, I don't know why you don't just pay some of these fees, because this is where you miss out on players. I mean, look at Carvalho. He's gone to Brentford and we were linked to him, but because again we probably were trying to lowball. I mean, who else tried to get him that put in a low bid? Was Ipswich as well? They put in a low bid and they were Southampton. That's it. Got rejected.
It's mental because he only went for 20 million. Yeah. And we were looking at Sula for 25, 30 million. So I don't know how we weren't looking at. Now we've gone for Brighton Loney. So
I mean, Cooper said a couple of weeks ago that they're looking at players under the radar a little bit more, yet to come true.
And this is one of them because again we've not heard from anything, and now it's basically nearly a done deal. So.
Let's hope so. I mean, we do need a striker. We just need someone that can do the job, I guess. Like I said, we're not going to be signing these A-grade players. Like I said, if Zaha's up here, again, I need to find the camera. If Zaha's up here, we're probably more like down here, the players we can bring in.
Well, I still think Zaha's a one that we could get because he doesn't want to stay at Galatasaray.
It depends on who comes in. Like I said, I've had Spurs come in. He'd definitely rather go Spurs than us. It's the same money. It's a better club, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's just logic.
Krishna here says, what's the point in getting to Culver Reed? If we're just going to go get Zaha,
well,
surely over midfielder and number 10 is way better.
We've not got Zaha. It's speculation. And no one's said anything about Zaha apart from a few dodgy sources.
No, there was one. I think it was
nothing official.
No, John Percy said it.
I think John. I don't think he was confirming it. I think it was more of a.
He said he was looking.
That's an interesting one.
What else are people saying? Terence there saying keep the faith. I'll see you at Fulham. I know that anyway. Players might not be wanting to take the wage cut if we go down. Probably the new contracts. Well, yeah, but a lot of players
still on the old contract.
A lot of players that we've brought in have only been on 1 year contracts. Vardy has got 1 year contract. Yes, I think indeed.
I know what you mean about, like, say, some of these players that come in are probably. It wouldn't surprise me if they're not, because it's Leicester's way of doing it. But so, like you said, Vestergaard and Diddy, they may be on these lower wage contracts, which is obviously done to ship them off at the end of the season, because if we get relegated, you'll see a lot of players go out again. And we've seen a lot of players leave this season, Reedy, and I think we can both agree transfers have probably not been as much as we would have preferred, and especially when you can see in pre-season the lack of creativity up front, especially with, I mean, we all thought Daka minus you was a bag of spanners anyway, and when he got injured, it's just like, well, a bag of spanners is better than nothing.
The annoying part about all of this is now we've got past the last pre-season game, and we've just had another injury in this striker as well. It's like we've all just gone guns blazing and been like, right, we need to find a striker ASAP. Why couldn't we have done this the first minute window opens, because now whoever comes in has got a week to learn what is happening.
It's because it's Leicester City and we do it the slow way. We've obviously had the pre-season games, and I'm sure Cooper's gone to them and said, "Listen, we need to sign some more players, otherwise you are going to get relegated." You know, I would agree that at the moment in time we do not have a chance in staying in the Premier League with the players we've got, because they're just not good enough quality. You'd argue that Ipswich, Southampton, they've got more guts, and the players they have, they're more of a team, and we've signed people like Samari and Daka. Really, those players, they're just there for the wage. Samari's not going to feature, and no one wants him because he's just shit.
I want him.
Rubbish.
I want him.
You may have him. You can have him. You can play him in your fantasy league or whatever you've got going. No way I want.
The counsellor here says, who just joined, who's the striker in question. As we'll show you now, this guy, Hlozek. Oh, how'd you say his name?
Hlozek. Shoot, is he German?
I'm just going to call him Adam. That's his first name.
He's a Czech striker, isn't he? He's from Czech Republic.
He's Czech Republic striker. 24, is he?
I don't know. I thought he was younger than that.
He is 22.
22.
So 22, yeah. He's obviously playing for Bayer Leverkusen last year. Again, from his stats, it looks decent. He's only played 11 games and scored 12 goals or assists. So that's good to see. And the counsellor says, thank you. Terence here says, Greek League, Scottish League, nowhere near the Premier League.
Yeah, I mean, that's our logic of signing players, though. We know that. But the Premier League standard players, I mean, who would you like to bring in that Premier League standard? Zaha, great. But you tell me one other player that we could go and sign that's been in and around the Premier League that would want to join us. I couldn't name it, and I don't think we could afford it either, if we wanted to. We've got to go for these cheaper players because that's all we have. That is all we have. Yeah. We don't have. Again, I saw earlier today people between saying that the transfer budget was around 40 to 50 million pounds for the season, and we've obviously not spent that. I don't know how much we've spent, maybe 20, 25 million. But then obviously it depends as it'll be accounting for wages. We're going to see players come in. This striker looks like he's going to come in. And play. We need a new striker. We need someone like this, and he's hopefully not the last signing, because I would argue really we need another striker as well on top of this, and also another attacking midfielder.
And just to mention before we finish, Weghorst, Terence says, I'm more than happy to have him.
He's probably asking for too much wages again.
Well, again, he's only apparently he's only 1 million. But again, it's just the wages that it's probably going to cost up to about 10 million. So Ben Morgan here says, Adam, the Greek and Zaha, not a bad strike force. Again, I wouldn't mind that.
If you bring those three in, you're probably looking at a way better strike force than we had for Lens game. You look at it that way.
I wouldn't pay for the Greek striker. Again, we need a striker, even if it costs us 20 to 25 million. He seems a decent striker. You just hope he performs in the Premier League.
Obviously, it is a different calibre of football in the different league, but I've always said I'm happy, and I would be more convinced if we signed Premier League players and Championship players that wanted to know what it means to be in the Premier League. We're in a situation now, really, where let's just sign anyone. I don't really care at this point because I think we're going to get relegated anyway. And I hate to be negative, but I think the board and the club are being extremely slow and unprepared. And for me, someone's got to get sacked and something needs to change because we're way too slow. We're way too behind on things. We got up to the Premier League and the first reaction was not to be on the board with these signings. We've made a few players in, and really none of them stand out. When we came up to the Premier League in 15-16, we signed Esteban Cambiasso. Do you know what I mean? We don't make those kind of signings anymore. I don't know why, but we're not an ambitious club. I think the Top's head is more interested in the horse racing, and if you ask me, I think something needs to change, or someone needs to change at the club to actually care about Leicester City, because I think it has gone downhill in the past couple of years, and I don't think it's got the attention and the care it needs.
Yeah, fair enough. Any more comments before we do finish? Terence here says Sarah from Norwich. I just can't see it happening again. Trevor says Smodic from Blackburn. Again, he got a goal and assist over the weekend. Should be going for some. He shouldn't be at Blackburn by the end of that season, should he?
Like I said, he's had a good season. He's had a good first opening game for Blackburn. I'm surprised no one's picked him up yet, to be honest with you. I'm surprised he's still at Blackburn. Yeah.
There you go, guys. Appreciate you coming on. Sam, last comment. Do you think he is coming? And do you think he will do well for us?
I think he's going to come. Obviously, I think Fabrizio is a very reliable source. He doesn't really tweet stuff without the knowledge behind it. So I think he'll come and I think he'll do fairly well. It depends on how we play him. I don't know. I've not watched anything on him. I've not seen anything on him. But I'm just happy we're bringing in a striker, because knowing the club, they, like you said, they would have played Reeedy up front and switched a lot of
I think we need to buy both the strikers, to be honest, because at the moment we're on one striker.
Yeah, I think just bring in some good strikers. And again, I've read that the club's reasoning for not buying is, as we all know, because we can't sell these rubbish players like Sumari as an example, Christiansen, Suter. Yeah, I know Suter's gone out on loan, but we can't sell these players. Reedy, last few bits, let's talk about Patreon to the viewers so they know what's going on over there.
Yes. So again, make sure to subscribe to Leicester Fan TV on Patreon.
Yeah, we're going to put up some graphics. First off, the biggest thing that's happening on Patreon is we're giving away a signed Harry Winks t-shirt, which we have in the office just over there, which Reedy is going to pull up on screen now. What you need to do is go subscribe to our £3 pack to get 3 tickets, £6 pack to get 6 tickets, or £10 to get 10 tickets. Very simple. It's like a raffle. The more money you put in, the higher chance you get of winning it. A very exclusive shirt. Winks signed it. It's a great looking shirt, and it's something we do. And it's not just about giving away a free shirt. You can do the £3 pack to supporters on Patreon. £6 pack, you get a lot of exclusive content with ex-Leicester City players, interviews with people like the Blue Van Man, Ian Marshall, the one that's gone out a few days ago, and exclusive podcasts and shows that we're running. The whole team's running weekly shows now, all exclusive on Patreon. And just for a few pounds, if you could support us on there, you get a bunch of content for free. Oh, well, not for free. You're paying for a great service, to be honest with you. You get a bunch of content. But we're still doing what we do for free, is what I mean to say. Nothing's going to change if you don't want to support us, but it'd be greatly appreciated if you could.
Yeah, exactly. And again, I'm just going to mention Terry. Make sure to subscribe, mate. I know you'll love it. Appreciate you coming on, and we'll catch you all on the next show. See you in a bit, guys.
For exclusive extra shows, behind the scenes, competitions and podcasts, subscribe to Leicester Fan TV today on Patreon.